Lidovai, Van Houten said calmly. I'll have a martini, if you please. Just a whisper of vermouth. I have resigned, Lidovai said after a moment. Don't be ridiculous. I didn't know what to do. Being nice hadn't worked. Being mean hadn't worked. I needed an answer. I'd come all this way, hijacked Augustus's wish. I needed to know. Have you ever stopped to wonder, he said, his words slurring now, why you care so much about your silly questions? You promised! I shouted, hearing Isaac's important wailing echoing from the night of the broken trophies. Van Houten didn't reply. I was still standing over him, waiting for him to say something to me when I felt Augustus's hand on my arm. He pulled me away toward the door, and I followed him while Van Houten ranted to Litovai about the ingratitude of contemporary teenagers and the death of polite society. And Litovai, somewhat hysterical, shouted back at him in rapid-fire Dutch. You'll have to forgive my former assistant, he said. Dutch is not so much a language as an element of the throat. Augustus pulled me out of the room and through the door to the late spring morning and the falling confetti of the elms. For me, there was no such a thing as a quick getaway, but we made our way down the stairs, Augustus holding my cart, and then starting to walk back toward the philosopher on a bumpy sidewalk of interwoven rectangular bricks. For the first time since the swing set, I started crying. Hey, he said, touching my waist. Hey, it's okay. I nodded and wiped my face with the back of my hand. He sucks. I nodded again. I write you an epilogue. Gus said. That made me cry harder. He said. I will. Better than any shit that drunk could write. His brain is Swiss cheese. He doesn't even remember writing the book. I can write 10 times the story that guy can. There will be blood and guts and sacrifice. An imperial affliction meets the price of done. You'll love it. I kept nodding, faking a smile. And then he hugged me, his strong arms pulling me into his muscular chest. And I sewed up his polo shirt a little, but then recovered enough to speak. I spent your wish on that douche face. I said into his chest. I said into his chest. Hazel Grace, no, I will grant you that you did spend my one and only wish, but you did not spend it on him. You spent it on us. Behind us, I heard the plunk plunk of high heels running. I turned around. It was Lidabai, her eyeliner running down her cheeks, duly horrified, chasing us up the sidewalk. Perhaps we should go to the Anne Frank Huis, Lidabai said. I'm not going anywhere with that monster, Augustus said. He is not invited, Lidabai said. Augustus kept holding me, protective, his hand on the side of my face. I don't think he started, but I cut him off. We should go. I still wanted answers from Van Houten, but it wasn't all I wanted. I only had 2 days left in Amsterdam with Augustus Waters. I wouldn't let a sad old man ruin them. Lidabai drove a clunky gray Fiat with an engine that sounded like an excited 4-year-old girl. As we drove through the streets of Amsterdam, she repeatedly and profusely apologized. I am very sorry. There is no excuse. He is very sick, she said. I thought meeting you would help him. If he'll see that his work has shaped real life. But I'm very sorry. It's very, very embarrassing. Neither Augustus nor I said anything. I was in the backseat behind him. I snuck my hand between the side of the car and his seat, feeling for his hand, but I couldn't find it. Levi continued. I have continued this work because I believe he is a genius and because the pay is very good. But he has become a monster. I guess he got pretty rich on that book, I said after a while. Oh, no, no. He is of the Van Houdens, she said. In the 17th century, his ancestor discovered how to mix cocoa in the water. Some Van Houdens moved to the United States long ago, and Peter is of those. But he moved to Holland after his novel. He is an embarrassment to a great family. The engine screamed. Levi shifted and we shot up a canal bridge. It is circumstance, she said. Circumstance has made him so cruel. He is not an evil man. But this day I did not think. When he said these terrible things, I could not believe it. I am very sorry, very, very sorry. We had to park a block away from the Anne Frank house, and then, while Levi stood in line to get tickets for us, I sat with my back against a little tree, looking at all the moored houseboats in the Prinsengraten Canal. Augustus was standing above me, rolling my oxen cart in lazy circles, just watching the wheels spin. I wanted him to sit next to me, but I knew it was hard for him to sit, and harder still to stand back up. Okay? He asked, looking down at me. I shrugged and reached a hand for his calf. It was his fake calf, but I held on to it. He looked down at me. I want it. I said, I know. He said, I know. Apparently the world is not a wish-granting factory. That made me smile a little.